That was incredible. All right, we've got Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, and this is how OKC defended against 7'4" Wembanyama before the game, preparing for the physicality. So look at how his coaches have to prepare him. Tugging on his arms, holding him in place. Practice what isn't being whistled during a game. And it led to ball movement. Stephon Castle missing a three-pointer. Ball goes out of bounds. Holmgren's picking up Wemby, picking him up about 25 feet out, three-point line, pushing him away from the paint, denying him the basketball. Spurs are forced to move the ball around. Remember, Kendrick Perkins challenged Chet Holmgren to find the hate in his heart for Wemby, because Wemby, according to Perk, hates Holmgren. Then Isaiah Hartenstein has a little bit more mass inside as he's bumping Wemby off the block. Jalen Williams is bodying up Wemby, forcing him into a fadeaway. Wemby, career-high 19 minutes in the half without a two-point field goal made. The Spurs were down 7 at the half. De'Aaron Fox playing his first game of this Western Conference Final Series and finding Wemby, who finally gets the role working on Chet Holmgren and one. That's his first bucket in the paint. Castle is going to throw it in for Wemby. It's got to be exhausting going against Wemby and those elbows and that height. Wemby would tally 3 field goals made inside the paint during the third. Average distance of his field goals much closer than in the first half. You can see that. Spurs, though, down by 11. The scoreboard wasn't close. Alex Caruso screening, sealing off Wemby, leads to a Julian Champagnie mystery. Caruso's just an absolute dog on the defensive end of the floor. Jared McCain giving Wemby a bump. Spurs forced to kick out. Champagnie misses another one. Wemby, 26 points with just 4 rebounds. Thunder by 15. Here's Wemby after the Game 3 loss.
I feel like I have trouble making my teammates better right now. If that's what I should do better. My shooting splits aren't terrible. I need to be more of a team player.
How can you be that?
Facilitate better, rebound the ball better, get more, push their defense a little bit further and see how much they're willing to help off of my teammates and feed them.
Our teammate, Quentin Richardson, makes us better. He's with us on SportsCenter this morning. Q, you hear Wemby's critique of his own game, and you think what?
Man, I just appreciate his awareness and his ability to take accountability. He's not pushing the blame anywhere else. He's shouldering the blame and saying how much he needs to be better and pointing out things that he needs to do better. Me, I think from when I played, if I was a teammate of his, I'm watching that and just thinking like, man, this dude does everything, and here he is again, still taking the onus on himself and saying what he needs to do better. For me as a teammate, I'm gonna look at that and know that, hey, I gotta be my best to try and help this dude and try and help him be better and help us win.
On the other side of this, you got the Thunder bench and put up 76 points. So to what extent really could these OKC reserves determine the rest of this series?
In my opinion, they are. They're determining this whole series in the playoffs. This is what the Thunder are about. Last night they literally they flexed their depth on their team. They went deep into the bench and they kept, like, you had Jalen Williams coming. In the 3 games in this series, they've had 50 bench points in game 1, 57 in game 2, and 76 last night. So in my opinion, they are part of the formula that makes the Thunder as good as they are, and they definitely have an impact on the series as well as the whole playoffs, as well as the whole program that the Oklahoma City Thunder play. They have a huge part in that.
And it's not as though the starters are struggling necessarily. SGA got his last night, but 76 bench points, the most by any team in a conference or NBA Finals game since starts were first tracked in 1971. Quentin Richardson, thank you, sir.
Go up 2-0. This is a team that has shown resiliency all playoffs, all season long.
The Cavs are leaving them. Josh Hart making them pay.
Knicks dominated here in the third.
There is just a confidence that the Knicks have when they get James Harden in that ISO.
We're focused on winning.
9 consecutive playoff wins for the Knicks. The Knicks now up 2-0.
Q is back to break the QR code on what these Cleveland Cavaliers must do to get back into this series. Q, this is not unfamiliar territory. They fell 2-0 in that series against Detroit that they eventually won. So what's the code here?
Kind of similar, man. They got to get back home. They got to start out with their defense, man. They got to be ready to help and play team defense on Jalen Brunson. Can't let him go crazy on them. They got to give their fans something to get into. That Cleveland crowd has been good for them in this playoff series and all year long. They got to give them something to get into the game about. But make no mistake about it, fellas. They need a big game from Donovan Mitchell. They need a big game from James Harden. They need their stars to be stars. That's what the playoffs is about. And they also could use help from those big guys in the middle with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They need big games from these guys. You at home, you got to step up and play big.
They got that game from Mitchell, 26 points, but still need it from James Harden. On the other side of that, the Knicks look absolutely awesome. They're playing great. Is this just a case of them finally clicking and figuring it out, or the rest of the East and the rest of their opponents that they've seen thus far just being down?
No, I truly believe that the Knicks are playing some unbelievable basketball right now. They've hit a streak 9 in a row. They've won in the playoffs, which is a record, and they found a formula, man. Bringing Cat Anthony Towns up top to be a facilitator and be able to get the ball and move the ball around, and Mikal Bridges has come on. I mean, obviously Brunson, and you got Hart, and you got all of the guys making contributions at the right time. So I think this is genuinely, truly about the Knicks and the job they're doing. Coach Brown and the staff has done some great adjustments, and they've got them playing unbelievably great basketball right now at this point in the playoffs.
Offensively, you can get it from every which way from these Knicks. Josh Hart, a playoff career high 26 points in the most recent win. Do not miss the next one, 8 Eastern tonight on ABC. Q, much appreciated.
Yes, sir.
They say the best bet is listening to this man, Tyler Fulgham. And the Knicks, Tyler, cruised in game 2. So why are you going against the grain? Why do you like the Cavs?
Well, let me ask you this, Randy. Who do you think's favored in this game? The Knicks on this heater, or the Cavs, who have struggled against New York all year?
I would guess the Knicks.
Wrong.
Ooh.
Cleveland is actually favored, and that's not, me making, or a Cavs fan making the spread. That is Las Vegas, the sports book, mathematics, algorithms making the spread. So I was surprised to see this, and usually when you're surprised to see a spread, you should lean into that surprise and bet on it. The Cavs are favored here. Why? I'm not sure, but I think Vegas is telling you that they should win this game. And usually in the NBA, we see a zig and a zag in the postseason. As soon as you think one team's ready to take off and win everything, they get checked or knocked down a peg or two. So if the Cavs want to get into this series, because if they lose game 3, it's over. Right. They need to show up tonight on their home floor. I think they win and cover, because that's what Vegas is telling them.
There'll be a desperation level for the Cavaliers. And you like one Cavalier in particular to have a big stat line, and it's neither of the usual suspects. Not James Harden or Donovan Mitchell. Who is it?
We talk all the time about them, but I think Evan Mobley is the linchpin for this team. When he plays well, this team plays well, because he does a little bit of everything. He defends, he rebounds, he scores, he can shoot. I'm going over his points plus assists plus rebound total, which is 27.5. He did this, Randy, in 63% of his regular season games. He did it in game 1, did not in game 2. So at home, I think he bounces back. And by the way, expect him to play 40-plus minutes. This is desperation mode, like you said.
Yeah.
He's not going to be sitting on the bench, getting his rest. He's going to be out there on the floor playing a ton of minutes, because they need to get into this series.